thinking of resistance, that's me thinking of having a vessel either very tiny, we call that clamped down or vasoconstricted, or it can be very open and what we call vasodilated or very wide. That happens in certain disease states. And actually, your kidneys and your heart are like Batman and Robin, peanut butter and jelly. They always got to work together. So when the heart's failing, the kidney is very, very greedy. It requires 22% of your cardiac output for those two little beans in your back to work. And they're very essential that they work. Your kidneys are important for acid base, for fluid management, and electrolyte management. So when they're failing, that's a bad situation. So when they do not get their blood flow, and it is purely a gradient of flow that provides the function of the kidney, when it doesn't get it, it has mechanisms in place. It releases hormones. You have your lungs and your hypothalamus and your pituitary gland and your adrenal glands. You have a lot of organs working in collaboration to say, hey, heart, you're not doing the job you need to. We're not getting our blood flow. And what the kidneys do is they vasoconstrict our vessels. So what that does is it provides a better blood pressure. It creates a pressure gradient to the kidneys so they feel like they're getting the blood flow that they need. But that resistance that they've created makes the heart have to work harder to eject its contents. So it actually ends up being kind of an oxymoron that your body does that for you because it actually harms you in a way. So I need to be mindful of that resistance. And is it the kidney causing that constriction? Is it a fever? Is it pain? Is it hypothermia? It could be a lot of different things that can cause vasoconstriction, and I need to break down every differential of what that could be and intervene. Sometimes it's a non-functioning kidney, and I need to replace the function of the kidney using technology. So once I understand where that resistance is, then I come in and I usually use medications. We use medications specifically to either vasodilate or vasoconstrict. And then the other thing I need to think, if it's not volume and if it's not resistance, then I think of contractility, the actual ability of the heart to contract its contents. And what it has to do is overcome the pressure in the aorta. The left ventricle has to squeeze enough to pop open its aortic valve. It has a valve that is closed to keep the contents in the heart, and during systole, it opens up the valve and lets the contents come out. In order to open up the valve, the heart has to generate pressure. And if there's a lot of pressure or resistance in that aorta, the heart has to work a lot harder. During that phase, it uses 90% of your oxygen. So if you are making the heart work really hard, you're going to use up your oxygen. And then the rest of the organs are going to be in failure because they're not getting the perfusion that they need and the oxygen delivery capacity that they need to have. So I need to optimize all three of those components to maintain adequate blood pressure and cardiac output. And that's really what I do all day, every day that I come into work, because it's end organ perfusion is really what my game's all about.